So this is our live management simulation checkpoint number 2. It's on, Jason's got it on our Google Drive, so you can go check it out there if you want to look at it more. But this is where we're at. Right now we've got our team leaders, area leaders established. Thank you all for doing that. We are, what am I trying to say here? We are moving forward with that. We are a week and a half behind schedule based off of the chart that's coming up here. Based off of this chart, we are a week and a half. We are here today, and we're somewhere in this area right here. So what we need to do is we're going to kind of pull resources from other groups, some of the groups that aren't necessarily doing very much right now. We need to pull you guys to help us get this research caught back up to where we need to be. We all kind of, we good? Everyone follow? I mean, y'all are just kind of looking at me like I'm like, but we're all on the same page there, right? We can agree that you know, we had the hurricane, we had some stuff going on that has put us behind, and we're just at a point to where we need to get caught back up. And I know that Jennifer's working to get the research done and compiled. Her team's working on that, but they're going to need more help. We have to get this caught back up, so we just need to kind of pull our resources, see what we need to do. Jason seems to be able to explain it a little bit better than I am. So, like, he can word this better. He's better at the wordsmithing than I am.
Well, if you want to go back up to the last previous slide, I mean, obviously we had the hurricane delay in there for a week, the third one. But I think we started off on the wrong foot. We had some miscommunication issues where we just didn't get communicated and organized correctly, quickly. So that, and then we just got all of the department leaders' names. So both of those together, and more so of the department leader issuing communication versus the hurricane, because that really wasn't disruption, has put us in a little bit of a hole.
It was quite a disruption. Now, that's not a disruption that will cripple you. I think you can probably waste about 2 weeks, which you did, and still be okay, okay? But you've used the grace that you had in there. So now you have to really be on track moving forward to make things work. At this point, I hope everybody has a job and everybody has a job description, and and people know what they're doing, because I've had a couple people email me asking, what am I supposed to do? It's not for me to decide. That's for you all to figure out what you're going to do. So I passed that along, and then to their credit, they got right on it with those people and trying to get them steered right. But if everybody knows what their job is right now and has their job description and is actively moving on that, you'll be just fine. To the degree that people hide from that, you're going to not do well.
We have one right now, in all honesty, that I haven't gotten much response from. It's an online issue, and we need to get that. She doesn't really have a function yet, and we keep emailing, but we need to get that function on board and get that person into the group, and so that we can, and we pushed that down to say, hey, we'll help out with the site coordination. We're not at that point yet. That's later on down the chart. We just need to get that sorted out.
Yeah.
In our
If anybody is not doing their work and hiding, just send them, let me know, only you, talk to the president, let me know that they're not pulling whatever weight, and then I'll just ask if they're pulling weight. And usually they start going, oh, he's noticing me, I better do something. It's kind of like when you divert your eyes when I'm asking a question in class, it's the same kind of thing, and they don't like to be called on. Okay? But if everybody's pulling, doing their job now, you should be okay.
I think we just had a delay in our getting organized and getting everybody on the same page. That's what it was.
So what we also need to do is some of the books that are in the syllabus that we are to read, we need to kind of divide those books up, see who's going to read what. I know Jason said he was starting to read one. I was reading the letters of Colonel Shaw, the blue-eyed, I can't remember
Child
the
of
long
Fortune.
title, but that particular one.
Yeah, divide it up, don't duplicate it, divide it,
So-
capture the ideas somewhere, and then you can move on.
Right, because I know that as I was reading through the research for the discussion board one, I did see a lot of duplication of ideas and sources in that research. So I feel like we're probably gonna come up short, and we're gonna need some more stuff to go on, and that's what we're gonna get. Is we're gonna get it from those stories, because that's like the syllabus said, you know, once we decide who the, you know, once we get the people, the stories, or, you know, the people are gonna have the stories, and that's gonna give us what we need. But we need to find those people and get those stories, so.
Okay, so let me ask you a few diagnostic questions. Do you have lead and lag measures for each of these departments? Okay, so do you have some kind of think through all the things that we talked about in class tonight about communication. Do you have a well-oiled way that everybody can communicate with everybody? Okay, so you have your organization chart, you have job descriptions. How do you know when somebody is not working? Is there some kind of mechanism where you have your sub-leaders really looking at that to making sure, I mean, everything's gonna rise and fall on leadership, right? So not just you, because you're not gonna carry everything on your shoulders, but whoever your department heads are, they've gotta be good people that are staying on top of their departments. Okay, do you have that kind of redundancy of checking on and making sure that people are moving along? Okay, what other questions do you need to be asking yourself? Think about this, you guys all have lots of business background and talent. What other questions do you need to be asking? I want you to start asking these questions. What else do you need to do?
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I'm just gonna say, I think we just got established all of the department leaders, so for them to contact their guys and actually create the approved department league and lag measures and deadlines and accountability and dates, that's something that I think the department heads need to do, the team leaders need to do still. I mean, I think that we're still working on that, and I would bet that some of the team leaders have not communicated. Like, we were here yesterday and I saw that the logistics team was meeting, so obviously they're trying to get ahead. But I would venture to guess that some of the other department meetings have not met yet to the point where they have made those goals, those department lead and lag goals, lag and lead goals. So that's just the type of thing that I think we need to get on and say, hey, we need the team leaders, now that you've been identified, you need to work your team or work with your team. We just haven't done that yet.
Okay, and this is where we should have been 2 weeks ago, but again, you had about 2 weeks worth of slack. So now we really need to jump on that.
I'm gonna say, and maybe this is just me, or maybe I was speaking for someone else too, but I feel like probably one of the first steps that would be good is if we have an understanding of kind of a general theme that the overall team is working towards, because I'm a little bit confused about, like, for example, I'm the seminar program team leader, and as of right now, I feel like there's nothing I can do, because how can I design a program that I don't know what it's about?
Right, which is why research is so critically important at this phase.
Right, and so when you were saying that there are duplicates in the research, obviously that's probably because we have to have enough research, but we should take note of those duplications, because those are probably gonna be some of our, like, headliners.
Right.
And then the rest of the data is just gonna follow under it. And I just wanted to make a, recommendation that possibly, since it's a 4-day seminar, each day can have its own theme, because that will help divide the research into categories.
But you're not gonna know that until the research emerges. You can't choose that ahead of time, or it's not gonna work. You have to get the research to know what should emerge
Well, sure.
to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just think that we're lacking in that sense of structure.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be the next step.
Right now, there's 3 people on the research team, so I'm the only one in class that's researching, there's 2 online people. So I have all of the traditional class, everything that was put on the discussion board for DB1, I have it all together now, and I posted that. But I'm gonna go through it probably tomorrow and the next day, I'll go through and try to categorize them together, okay, this is about Shaw, and this is about Fort Sumter, and so that it'll be easier for us to start seeing what's developing, and then from that, I want y'all to please go in there and write comments and say, hey, you know, let's do more of this, I like this, or whatever, so that way I know what to look for, since there's only 3 of us. And then also those books, let's divide it up and read a couple chapters a piece and do a little summary. I can make, in the research folder, I can make, you know, like a paper for each book or whatever, and just drop your summary in there, and we'll be on the same page, and that way it's not 3 people trying to read.
Well, that's not, I mean, that's what we're
Six
trying to,
Right.
that's what we're trying to guard against. I think right now we have 6 people for APA, we're around in there, the editing, maybe a bit much. So I
Yeah.
think we need to move some people around for resources to help out with the research, because initially, we made the decision that everybody was gonna do research,
Yep.
but then, but the problem is if we give 3 people DB1, which was just our empty brains into a data, you know, it's a lot of data to digest and put into a usable format, it becomes a little bit unmanageable.
So, and my instructions were, everybody should be a researcher in the same way that every Marine is a rifleman, right? So everybody should be doing some research, and right now, you really need it.
So why don't you just divide it up and tell us what we're doing?
Are the books listed in the syllabus?
Yeah.
Books are
Yeah,
listed in the
they're-
syllabus, yes.
Are
So
they
Page
available
7.
in-
Let's, why don't you pick a book for the week and then split it up the chapters to us and just tell us to reread it somewhere.
We'll get there, I just think right now,
We can
you
do
know,
that.
when he asked
I
the
mean,
question,
it-
how we're supposed to be doing, we need to
I
talk to the
just
team
literally
later.
started on.
I mean,
our
he's
guide
working with
on
the team later.
draft regimen, like I just read a couple of pages, but I can read, yeah, few chapters or however they mind every. And we can,
I just think I like that.
yeah.
I
So-
can look up each of the books and see how many chapters they are, how long it is, and then kind of make a sign-up sheet, like, you know, divide them into chunks and just be like, hey, let's, by Friday.
Good, and let people
sign up-
decide
sign up
which
for something by
chapters, yeah.
Friday.
And then that'll work.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll research like how long each thing is and then divide it into chunks and then just, I don't know, what everybody thinks the deadline to sign up for something. Go into the Google Docs and sign
I
up.
think you should just assign them, I don't think you should make those, choose them, because
Well,
it's
that's
gonna,
because
it's
we're
gonna
like
add lag.
military people.
It's
That's
lag time.
cool.
And I'm right on
Like
board with
wasting
you, but
time
that's what I'm
with
trying to
those
avoid. That's what I'm trying to avoid, because I know that doesn't work well outside the military.
You
It-
did, part
you
of
know.
what we've learned is around utilizing people's strengths. So,
I mean, it's research, we're all gonna have different strengths in research.
no, I would agree. I just don't think that someone should just be assigned something without more of a conversation.
You're like, if you haven't signed up by Friday, we'll assign you something. If you-
Well, I think that, you know.
And that might be a way of splitting the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
And see, I'm perfectly okay with that, but the reason why I didn't go that route is because I didn't want the military side of me says, hey, you, do this.
Aggressive knife hand?
And I get that 45-degree knife hand going, and that doesn't translate well to, I don't know, her,
It sure
or
does.
her,
I
Or-
wouldn't care.
or Emmanuel. You
Now,
know,
at the same time, you gotta get it done.
it's gotta get done.
Right.
I mean, research is research, so.
It is, but I'm just saying, I was trying to steer away from that.
I'm just throwing
In my
one
experience, that
center.
doesn't translate well outside the military.
Has anyone watched the movie yet?
I have watched
Did
it.
you take notes, and like, has any of that?
I did not take notes on the movie. I watched the movie to kind of get a better idea.
Can I volunteer to watch the movie and take notes?
Do it. Go for it.
Volunteering?
Again, you have to watch the movie, I said this earlier, there is some, they say that there is some historical inaccuracy to it. Obviously, you've gotta make a movie out of it, make it more
It's an
interesting
old
than what it
movie.
is, but
You
the
can't
gist
do it.
of it is what you need to get your hand around.
Well, if you are gonna watch the film and take notes on it, then there are only 4 other bullet points listed here in the syllabus. So the only thing that I'm curious about is if, like, say, for example, Amy and I are given one of the books and I'm supposed to read half and she's supposed to read half. Doesn't make sense for us to each buy a copy, and this is the me talking that doesn't have mine. But trying to figure out if there's a way that we can coordinate only having one book.
I can look and see, like, because I'm gonna have to pull them all up to see how many chapters and see, some of them might be available through like the library.
Library.
Yeah,
Are any of
someone-
them articles or are they all books?
I know that
I
the
think
one
they're
that
all-
I'm reading is got full text through the library.
Okay.
So So I'll put that next to it on the sign-up sheet, I'll put whether it's, you know, available at the library or if it's online or.
Yeah, I bought one for $1.99. I mean,
When you look at
Yeah,
this,
that's
it's
fine.
very important that you capture key ideas or quotes or other things that can be useful to her and her team later on, right? So you have to cite it appropriately with the page number and whatever else, otherwise it's really not useful.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Are we supposed to also be making decisions on who the speakers are, or are they just hypothetical?
It's up to you. Oh, no, the speakers are going to be, I'm sorry, for the conference,
Yes.
they're going to do their own thing. You're providing a curriculum as if you're providing them everything that they're going to be talking about.
My program will not list.
Not
who the
particular, not a
speaker is
particular
for a
name, no.
topic.
It's like speaker one, speaker two, speaker
Uh-huh, yeah.
One question on logistics side,
Mhm.
like the budget, $700.
It's tough.
That's super tough.
It is
because,
tough.
Charleston downtown hotels,
Yeah.
prices,
Yeah, and you're gonna have to use a particular hotel, and I'll feed you which one. Because they've already decided which hotel.
they already.
And it's double occupancy, which is good. So you're splitting the cost with a roommate, so that's good.
So we know
Yeah.
that they'll do that, or?
We know that they're gonna do that, that's already in the cards, that's what they wanna do, that's how they did. So this emerged out of that Gettysburg thing I was telling you about, right? And that's how they did Gettysburg, and it's worked for however long, and, yeah, so I'll feed you which hotel and that kind of thing.
Great.
Good,
Because we were using a ring, I mean, the cheapest one was the Daisy.
I understand, and they chose like mid-February for a reason, because it was a cheap time to be able to come to Charleston, yeah.
We put 4 or 5 in a room.
Right.
No, I'm sorry about that.
I'll work on it tomorrow. By like, close business tomorrow, I'll have the sign-up sheet on there.
Okay.
Or
Do you want-
I saw it
three-ish,
from the-
sorry, close business. By three-ish tomorrow, I'll have it on there, and then I guess if everybody has until, what day is it, Monday?
Yes.
Is Friday too long? That's a whole week. I feel
Friday's
like
too
2
long.
days. is probably
Maybe-
Say
good.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
okay. So by Wednesday, sign up, and if you haven't, then I guess I could email you, and if I don't hear back, then I'll.
When you post it on the Google Drive, can you go ahead and just resend that link, because I tried to find the email and I don't have it.
Sure. So once I get it posted, do you want me to send an email to everybody that's like,
Yep.
hey, it's posted, go sign up? Or
Everybody.
or someone seals
Right.
these chapters?
Yeah.
So are we deciding the chapters, how many we are reading?
I was gonna kind of divide it,
You can talk about that.
there's, what, like 10 people, and how, you know.
15 people in the online version, and then 10 of us in here, so
Yeah, so I'll try
And
to-
I'm actually
I'll try to
recording
divide it.
our conversation here for them, which I'm gonna post for them, so they can hear this discussion. If there's anything that you wanna communicate to them, now's the time.
Are all of you on the Google in our group meeting? Does anyone know? I was pretty sure they were, but I just clarified.
I count 23 on the group meeting, so I think we're still lagging one young lady coming online, and there was one more person who just got added.
Okay.
So I think we're 24 now on the group meeting app.
I'll try to
Last time
divide it.
last time I don't have to guess, I don't have to guess.
Let me ask you something. Are you dividing it and I can go there and choose whatever I want to read and put my name on it?
Mhm.
Is this what-
And I guess if somebody has already signed up for it, then just choose another, or I don't think it would hurt for 2 people to read the same if there's,
Uh-huh.
you know, as long as it all gets covered.
We got 22
Extra eyes
members
on
on
everybody.
the group, on the
I'm
group.
sort of missing.
I'm just
missing
gonna be
three.
just kidding.
We'll figure out who those 3 are, and we will.
So how will you communicate to them? You're gonna just make the group me announcement, is that the?
We've been using the CSU emails, and we have a group email,
Okay.
obviously, in the CSU.
But you wanna make sure that they know what you're just describing today, so that, you know, because if I've read 3 chapters of one of these books, I wanna get onto that and get credit for what I've done, not have to do something else too. So, okay.
okay, so what's that?
Right?
Sorry. So to recap, we're gonna go ahead and, Jennifer's gonna put together a sign sheet for everybody to kind of look and see, or to sign up for by Wednesday. 2 days from now, day after tomorrow, sign up for that. Make sure, you sign up for the book, the section. And then go ahead and do that reading. Now, are we meeting again in 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
I think that's October
It's
the
October
8th.
8th, it's Columbus break.
I think that's fall break.
What's the syllabus say?
It is over. We did- it's
There's one
actually
week
not
that's
my
fall
class.
break, that I thought we were supposed to be meeting.
That may very well be. Is that, what does the syllabus say? Whatever the syllabus says is
The
correct.
syllabus says we do not have class.
The syllabus says we do not have class, and we do not have class.
October 8th.
Yeah.
So that means we're not
Big
meeting.
no
tomorrow.
class, big
Yeah,
no
fall break.
class.
Yeah, you can still meet. You can do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. But we won't be here for class.
I was
So,
gonna say, you
That's
know,
fine.
if you guys wanna meet, that's fine, but I'm fairly certain that during fall break, the campus is gonna be locked down, so.
no, I don't think that it's going to be,
I don't know about the library, but I don't know.
I'm not sure about that,
I
but
thought it was.
there are plenty of places in town where you guys can get together, I'm sure.
There's places
But if you're trying to dodge it, that's okay too. I mean, you can
No,
work
I,
however you
no,
want
I
to
just,
work.
I just want everybody
It's
to
up to
be
you.
aware that we, we might not. be
But we will not
able
have
to
class if it
on
says we're not
campus.
having class according to that schedule, because I cannot have class, I cannot legally hold class on that day.
And then the next time we meet after that is 0.3. So we-
And that's the 8 and 7, do the math, I can't,
The
22nd, something like that.
Yes, October 22nd.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Alright, it's alright.
It's a different color.
So this just means that everyone needs to be really diligent about checking emails and group me because we won't see each other's faces now.
Exactly, because it'll be another 4 weeks before
Yeah.
we see each other again.
And you really need to have your things locked down, like what job descriptions are, and that people are humming and doing these assignments, and that you have your department managers checking on this and making sure, because if you don't have it, if you let it go like it's been, this is going to be a disaster. I'm telling you, you cannot let it go from here. You have enough slack built in where what happened, okay, we can move on, but you can't let it go from here. If 4 weeks from now, we're right where we are now, we're gonna have a miserable project and it's gonna be a very poor grade. Every once in a while that happens, and I don't want this to happen to this class. Okay? So just heed that warning. I'm sorry about the poll in the air, it's just, I'm just trying to help. Okay?
So if anybody has anything else, that's it. That's all I got.